Hi, this is Dan Cortopassi of TSG Multimedia. Today I'm reviewing N-Scale tank train cars from Athearn. Tank train is a system developed by GATX in the late 1970s and is still in use today. Strings of tank cars are connected by flexible hoses. This allows the entire string of cars to be loaded at one time. The Athearn tank train cars are available in sets of 3 cars each. One set includes 2 end cars and 1 intermediate car. The other 3 sets have an additional 3 intermediate cars each. The MSRP for each 3-car set is $84.98, which works out to about $28 per car. For most of this review, we'll be looking at the set with the 2 end cars and 1 intermediate car decorated in the late GATX scheme. The paint on the cars is thin and opaque and doesn't obscure any detail. Most of the markings are crisp and most of the small writing is legible with magnification. The tank train logo on the side is an exception. Some of the letters blur together, though it's so small that this isn't really noticeable under most viewing conditions. The cars have really nice detail, especially for N-Scale, including separate hazmat placards. On the ends, the cars have separately applied ladders and grab irons, as well as some separately applied plumbing detail. The end walkways are not see-through. I like all the end writing on the cars, which is mostly legible with magnification. The small grab irons are molded on, and there are no uncoupling levers or air hoses. One of the corner stirrups is broken off on one of my cars. The B-ends have nice brake wheel and chain detail. This is the B-end of one end car on the left. The B-end of the other cars have different piping detail. This is the A-end of the other end car on the right. The A-ends of the other cars have different piping detail. The cars have body-mounted McHenry couplers. All the couplers are at the correct height according to the Microtrain's height gauge. The ends of the intermediate car and one end on each of the end cars have a hose connection. Each box includes a length of flexible hose. I find it's easiest to connect the hoses before coupling the cars together. The spacing and design of the hose connectors on the top is not the same on both ends, so I'm pretty sure the intent is to connect all the cars in the same direction. In other words, all the B-ends should be pointing the same way. On top, these cars have a lot of neat plumbing detail and see-through photo-etched walkways. The handrails are made of a flexible plastic. Some of the railings are slightly bent out of shape on my cars. The cars have excellent hatch detail, as well as all the extra tank train plumbing not found on other tank cars. Underneath, the cars have full brake rigging, which is great since it's so exposed on tank cars. All of the wheel sets are in gauge according to the NMRA standards gauge. The cars weigh 1.3 ounces each. The NMRA recommended weight for cars of this length is 1.1 ounces. Since these cars are designed to be operated as a set, we decided to give them an operational test. For this test, we're including 3 more sets of intermediate cars. We're running these cars on 11-inch radius track, which is Athearn's stated minimum. Athearn recommends a 15-inch or greater radius. These cars seem to run fairly reliably going forward. We didn't catch it on camera, but the lead car came uncoupled from the engine and derailed a couple of times, but it's hard to say if that was due to the cars or the track. What I noticed is when the hoses are connected, the inside wheels of the cars have a tendency to lift on curves. I'll show you what I mean. I'm applying tension to both ends of this 3-car string, and you can see that middle car is lifting up. If I disconnect the hoses, it doesn't do that nearly as much. I have to press a lot harder to get those wheels to lift. So the tension from the hoses is causing a little bit of wheel lift on the cars and curves. Overall, these are really nice cars that capture the look of the real tank train. They have a lot of good detail. Operationally, they're a mixed bag. I think under the right conditions, they could be made to operate reliably, at least in the forward direction. But the tension from the hoses makes the cars prone to derailments on curves or when backing up. I'm going to take a spike for that. My final verdict is 9 out of 10 spikes.